Hey you! Yes you! Are you a nostalgia freak? Do you yearn for a simpler time? Then the WOC Archive is the place for you. We've got footage from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Culled from an old tape trader's collection bought off Chrysler. You'll find obscure and lost TV, news, interviews, music, sports, and everything in between. And it's all with original commercials. Every day a new tape, every day a new adventure. Subscribe today to the WOC Archive.
Hey, there's something awfully screwy going on around here.
It's more like there's like a setup where he's on the island and it's Fantasy Island and him and Speedy Gonzales, Harvey Villachez,
Right.
are the whatever the fuck those two were in the show. And they like have a wishing pond, and then the other characters line up to like throw a coin in to make a wish that shows them a story, which is one of the old cartoons.
That's the one thing I probably do want to know what their names were, because Mr. Rourke, right, and Tattoo. Okay, he was Tattoo on that. All right, I thought so. I
thought he was Tattoo in the Bond movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he was Tattoo in both.
Yeah. Hang on, I need to. When I clicked on Harvey Villachez to get more information, it pops up this photo, and I have to send it to you because it's so fucking suave. There.
Oh my god. Well, I really love Fantasy Island, Adam. It's too bad that we're not going to watch any Fantasy Island tonight. We're only going to watch Daffy Duck's fantastic.
Wait, have we started? Is this what's going on here?
Yeah, we're started. I just thought I'd just like roll into it, whatever.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the WOC Archive live stream. That's right. Tonight, we've got Daffy Duck's Fantastic Island, which is a 1983 TV movie compilation of a bunch of classic Looney Tunes cartoons with a through story of Daffy Duck and Speedy Gonzales on an island, and they have a magical fountain, and the characters throw a coin in the fountain, and they get to see an old cartoon.
Classic
and that's cartoon. What we're all gonna get to watch is a bunch of old cartoons.
Right.
Yeah.
There is a certain appropriation of Speedy Gonzales in general, which is a little weird. Yeah, but Daffy Duck, I think, is a great character to characterize Ricardo Montalban's character on.
I feel they have very similar energy. Yeah, definitely.
As much on Fantasy Island as it's the name of Mr. Rourke, we were looking that up a second ago, that he was a good guy. He did put on a image of being like a sleazy businessman, so he put people off guard. Now Daffy just is a sleazy businessman.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. He's a used car salesman, like 100% a used car salesman.
Which is funny because original Daffy Duck was actually like a psycho. There's originally the like woohoo.
Like, didn't he like run around with a knife or something?
He bonk himself in the head, and he was
he would bonk. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, madness.
And then they just totally changed that once he interacted with Bugs Bunny. And then other characters of that style would be invented later on.
Yeah, right. Oh man,
there was never like a moment when he
archetype
changed.
for cartoons. It's amazing.
He grew depth.
He had depth. So yeah, I originally had posted that this was going to be an all Fantasy Island pre-show, and as it turns out, in my vast collection of nearly 4,000 tapes now, I don't have any Fantasy Island. I don't have any. There's none. There's not a single episode. I don't even have the pilot, which I'm surprised, because one of the collections that I have is comprised of hundreds of pilots for shows, but no Fantasy Island.
Basically, Fantasy Island was the same thing as Love Boat, and that's so of course when we talk about old shows, I have to reference Love Boat.
Love, exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you.
So I had to look up if Ricardo Montalban appeared on Love Boat, and he appeared only once, but he was just quoted as horse race announcer.
I wonder if it was just his voice then.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
do you
I don't know.
Do you
The
think he
episode.
said rich Corinthian leather?
That was the name of one of the horses.
That was yeah, of course,
That's
rich Corinthian
That's
leather.
totally a horse racing name.
That's the best horse name. If you don't win, you're gonna be rich Corinthian leather. Well, on that note, I did say that we were gonna watch some Fantasy Island stuff, and in fact, I did pull a bunch of Ricardo Montalban commercials. Most of these I took from the internet because I also don't have very many of them in my collection. Crazy.
Except for maybe Con.
I mean, I could find Con. Insert.
We have a very special guest with us this evening. He is a spokesman for Chrysler, and I probably don't need to tell you, but this is Ricardo Montalban, and you are a busy guy with Chrysler.
I am, and I'm very, very glad to be with them. I've been with them now. This is my 14th year, so I'm setting a record, and I love every minute of it.
And you are, as I said, a very busy guy, not only working with
Seems
Chrysler,
like a nice
but rumor
guy,
has it
too.
that you're going back to Hollywood?
Yes,
probably wasn't,
to start
though.
a film next week.
Everything
called,
I read
The
that he
Naked
was.
Gun by the two
he's
young men who
referencing
did
Naked
The
Gun.
Airplane 1 and 2, those crazy humor pictures. And this
Humor
is called
crazy
Naked Gun.
humor
and, it's in the
pictures.
same vein. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Ricardo Montalban has
Thank
been our
you.
guest.
Wait till you see what they did to my car.
Okay, here we
With the
go.
Cordova, we went back to the drawing boards. We wanted to get the gas mileage up, but not at the expense of the styling.
Introducing
Look at that beast.
Totally redesigned Chrysler Cordova. All the luxury you expect is here.
Imagine crashing in this thing.
So
You
is
wouldn't.
gas
You wouldn't
mileage.
die.
You can
You'd
have
be
high
fine.
style and
Also,
good
imagine
mileage. The new
in the
Cordova
heat
proves.
sitting on those seats.
I like what they've done to my car.
Yes, that rich
love your skin.
Corinthian leather is probably quite warm in the sun.
Here's the cow we made the leather out of, or the horse we made the leather out of.
Special pleasure.
That's his racing horse.
Ricardo.
That's that's rich Corinthian leather right there.
That's the name of the horse.
That, my friends, is rare indeed. But it has been done. Because now good taste is master roasted by the masters of good taste, Maxwell House.
What coffee company was
I drink Maxwell
Maxwell
House.
House
the Spanish
Always
guy and
good
his
to
donkey?
the last drop. I
That was
speak
like
to everyone
Colombia
who still
and
believes in
something?
romance.
Yeah, probably.
The way it used to be. There is an exciting new collection of romance novels called Silhouette Romances. Silhouette heroes are
Silhouette.
strong, responsible men who can be loving and tender. The heroines fresh, young, and full of hope. They meet in exotic places about which
So
you will
completely
learn much.
fictional
And
people.
Silhouettes has
No
such
one in the world
beautiful
New
exists
Silhouette
like that.
Romances. Romance the way it used to be and could be again.
Oh, so hopeful.
From advanced technology comes a new kind of luxury car. The first
So he really was
Chrysler
in-
New Yorker. The most
in with
technologically
Chrysler for a
advanced
long
Oh
time.
Chrysler
yeah,
ever
100%. He was like
With
their
electronics so advanced,
spokesperson.
even money
But like,
doesn't
look at these cars. This is so ugly.
keep you
So
secure.
ugly, but
New Yorkers
look like they have a hell of a lot of
luxurious,
room.
impressive
Oh
miles,
yeah, they're
smooth, quiet
beasts and they
ride,
guzzle
and it's
gas.
protected
They have
for
a
50,000
huge
miles.
tank.
Chrysler New York.
Imagine
that's
trying to
also
drive
gay.
one of these
11.9
now.
financing or cash back on new Chryslers or Imperials.
Welcome to Taco Night.
Cadillac for the family.
Taco night.
It's a marshmallow man. Was it a Blockbuster
Taco
commercial?
Night is also movie night at the Andersons.
Get a coupon
It
for a
is.
free Blockbuster video when
Taco
you bring home
Bell
a new Grande meal
and-
from Taco Bell. It's
I mean, it's a
Blockbuster
match
just
made in heaven.
$9.99.
Yeah,
That's the
I bet
perfect
so.
marriage. Oh look!
Oh,
Oh, the Taco
gonna-
Bell
is he
dog.
gonna
That's
talk?
really of a time.
Wow, let's make s'mores.
But why were they're watching Ghostbusters? Like, what was the? Oh, here we go. Here's Harvey.
the plane. I believe we've filmed this in a previous show, but it's such a
We
good
have,
commercial.
but I had to show it again.
Dunkin'
Yeah, yeah,
Donuts
yeah.
introduces new minis. They're smaller than our regular donuts, so now you don't have to choose just one. You can have more of your favorites each time you come
We were just
in.
discussing before this, and I didn't really look up. I didn't get to look up.
Try plenty of
Is he
new
referred to
Dunkin'
as
Minis, so
Tattoo
you
in
won't get
both
caught.
the James
Sure.
Bond movie and Fantasy Island?
I think he is. We should look it up.
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
We'll just write on the
there's
screen if we're wrong.
there's
or
some Ricardo Montalban commercials or
a
some
little bit of
Fantasy Island
not. And a little bit of
related-
Hervé
and a
Village.
little bit. Well, I mean, it's only appropriate, right?
Which
seems-
connects back to the airplane movies because he has that really weird joke in that, and like I think it's Airplane 2, where the stewardess says I really could use a little breather, and he just leans over and goes. It's his only cameo.
I sure could use a little breather.
I did do a little bit of research on Ricardo Montalban, realizing he died in 2009 at like the cusp of 90 years old. He'd been working since 1940, and pretty much consistently. Yeah, like
Constantly.
he was always doing something, always around. He was married the whole time too, so he had a whole bunch of kids. Married to the same woman who was also in television for a little bit in the 40s and the 50s, and they were and yeah, his career just went on forever, and he was known as quite actually a nice guy and easy to do stuff with, because he's like super professional. Like that was just his life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What I'm thinking is
time period.
I'm betting that Love Boat episode is just a voice, because I think both Fantasy Island and Love Boat were spelling productions, so and they were happening at the same time. So he was just like, here, just record this voice for me. We need something done. We're here working on the one show, do it for the other.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that's because think of the late 70s, early 80s spelling empire. That's insane. That's like scary money.
All right. You sent a clip of Dirty Duck. Do you want to set it up a little bit before?
Yeah, we're gonna play the clip instead of the trailer. You feel free to look up the trailer. If the whole movie's online there. It's an early psychedelic 1974, I believe, psychedelic independent animated film in the vein of like Fritz the Cat, but much cheaper and literally much more psychedelic.
Amazing. Isn't Roger Corman somehow involved in this as well?
Did he maybe release it at some point? I'm pretty sure that it was made super underground and like independent at the time, but maybe I wouldn't be surprised if during the era of like The Trip and things like that he decided he would put it in some theaters for them, because there's not much of real legitimate releases of this film out there.
Oh wow. All right, well,
which is why it's easy to find online. You're seeing the 70s era of Nixon is in the mirror watching you at all times.
Well, of course. Was he taking a dump in a urinal?
He was just sitting in it watching his friend throw up. But that is also his friend coming out of the toilet, so it's like very confusing.
Whoa. This is cool. This is really great animation.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to take in because it changes so much and it's so weird, but it is beautiful.
I mean, I think this is meant to smoke a joint and
oh yeah. They were having several of those before they animated it. He goes, I know John, I know Yoko. Shut up, Yoko.
I agree.
I think in this university protest time, that things like Dirty Duck is actually probably something worth rewatching for a lot of people right now. Yes, the drugs helps, but
this feels very Gilliam too.
Yeah, this part especially because he uses a lot of like the real photos and those
exactly
eyes. It does do that a lot, but it's not always that. Yeah, very fucking weird.
That was really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
It does involve a lot of bodily fluids, though, swearing, drug use, and murder.
I do love that they chose to go with Donald versus Daffy as the character. I mean, that's
and oddly, I'll tell you why. Because just like Fritz the Cat, he's supposed to be a white guy, and they have to make a point that he's a white guy because he's always jive talking, and everyone thinks that's awkward that he's a white duck jive talking.
Yeah, right.
But he has lots of friends in the community who are like, yeah, this is the best jive talking white duck we know, which is again very much a Fritz type thing.
All right, so I was able to go through my collection and find a bunch of Looney Tunes related commercials because I mean, obviously they were shilled to no end. They were shilling tons of different things. A few of these you probably will remember from childhood, but some of these are actually quite old.
Do you think Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies was shilled more than Disney? Like Disney shilled their own products a lot, but I feel like they probably didn't go off to other people as much as like Looney Tunes. I think Looney Tunes was unstoppable. I think anything at some point crossed over with Merry Melodies and Looney Tunes. Cigarettes.
No cigarettes, sadly. That would be great.
Show has been brought to you by...
Leave that to
Hanna-Barbera. Yeah, and that's for the Flintstones.
I'll never get these calves
have them to the corral.
Augie Doggy should have been teaching his son how to smoke.
Make Kool-Aid and you'll make friends.
Ah, Kool-Aid.
See, he's even on the packet.
Yeah, I can. Maybe his Dino
I mean,
Dragon
this
Show
is-
had some classic crossover packs back then.
This has got to be from the 70s, the early 70s, maybe the late 60s.
Yeah.
Let me show you how to rope a cat.
Way ahead of the Roger Rabbit time.
Sorry.
And now a Canadian voices Bugs, and I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, it's true. He does a really great job.
Okay, I'll make more Kool-Aid and I'll make friends. Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
Is that how you do it? Is that how we make friends, Adam? Should we be making
Kool-Aid?
Kool-Aid more? Let's have Kool-Aid at the dance party.
I heard it worked for this one religious cult once. Why can't it work for us?
Yeah.
Evidently, that
Everybody
wasn't
drink up.
Kool-Aid, folks. Just so no one in the comments says, by the way, it wasn't actually Kool-Aid.
Yes, we know. But it's funnier that way. Give him sugar-free Bugs Bunny. There's no way that Bugs Bunny is sugar-free.
Yeah. I, again, always had the Flintstones ones, but never had those.
Here's a spooky one.
What's up, Doc?
Just wish I had some friends around.
Make Kool-Aid.
Not too bad. Make some Kool-Aid, you make friends. Yeah, see, this is the 60s. Those rare, colorless commercials of the 60s.
Make Kool-Aid and all of the scary ghosts will come out.
I mean, I'm into it.
No, it's actually just a bunch of kids.
Oh, it's just the clan.
Oh, well, guess I'll make Kool-Aid and I'll make friends.
Oh, there's the ghosts.
Later to release Kool-Aid. Oh,
You know, kids,
Yeah,
the
do you
kitchen
remember
ain't a
this?
playground.
yes, I do.
This
There's a
is
lot
like,
of
this
danger
aired
hiding in
constantly
here.
when we were
That
kids.
dangling cord
Like,
can be a
Look at that thing.
disaster.
Look at that
Way in
terrifying
past the
face.
time, like for like 20 years.
Especially if they grab hold and yank me. My cord should be up. You said it. Keep dangling cords out of reach.
The Illudium 6.5 laser gun.
I should be over there.
Keep goodies away from heat,
Uh,
so kids don't get gnawed than a
Marvin the
treat.
Martian's
There's a
voice.
lot of things in here that can burn you. By itself, it's harmless, but filled with scalding hot water.
Scalding.
I just
Love
wait.
the way
Professional
Bugs
medical
says it.
opinion, he was badly burned. All over.
Uh-oh, a really bad brain. So to stay out of hot water,
That's a fun voice to do.
keep those pot handles turned in.
Oh God, Schreider's Hospital for Crippled
Children.
I love it. They're trying to do something positive, but they're also doing something negative at the same time. Ah, the 80s. What a time.
They were so close. That's what makes
They
it
were
funny.
so close. Yeah,
close.
they were so close.
It wasn't like straight out 60s propaganda. It was so close and it meant to be good.
Yeah, it had good intentions.
So doing this. I remember an angry Nintendo nerd beat the crap out of Bugs Bunny over and over again.
That was one of his bits.
Yeah, constantly returning.
I mean, to be fair, I prefer the Kool-Aid Man being the spokesperson for Kool-Aid. Oh, so wait, Bugs Bunny's pre-sweetened. So in the 80s, he was against sugar with the sugar-free vitamins, but in the 60s, give those kids that diabetes. It was all about the diabetes.
now it's back to being pre-sweetened these days now too. So
Yeah, that's
people are
true.
too lazy to mix. So, and with that, which is funny though, because that was all just Bugs. Bugs was, their Mickey Mouse. He was their king, their leader, their
100%.
Superman. So he was, of course, splashed over everything. I bet you he had his own peanut butter at one point. In the 70s, like every iconic character had a peanut butter. I don't know what's up with that.
I mean, kids ate a lot of peanut butter, I guess.
Still do, but I mean, I don't understand why. Actually, it's funny. There's a lot of not mixing anymore. I think because parental groups complain about it and stuff like that now. Like it makes a single bit of difference.
Yeah.
However, I'd like to talk about how they have showed themselves and how they've changed during my teen years. I sent you a little slideshow, and this is a slideshow about the effect of the 90s in a bit that I like to call Looney Tunes in the 90s.
Look at that, Looney Tunes in the 90s.
That's their classic group. You know these guys, the Merry Melodies group. They're all there. Elmer Fudd, the only like real villain in that. Everyone's looking like what you recognize them at any generation. Nothing has changed too much.
Of all of these, Foghorn Leghorn, the best. I love Foghorn Leghorn.
And probably one of the guys who does not translate into present day as much. He's a guy who hasn't like jumped into like other stuff. You don't see him as much. I don't know how long I made it to these slides, so hopefully you're actually pressing play.
No, I was just chatting.
Oh, okay. But press play. Each one has a gap in there. We don't need to edit. It's got a long time. So, of course, as we mentioned, there's Space Jam. And I think it was probably still already the 2000s by the time Back in Action happened. I don't think that was the 90s anymore. But as much as this was a big commercial buy-in, and I'm not even talking about the weirdness of Tiny Toons, that made sense. I have this tape, how I spent
I have that tape too.
That's wonderful.
Classic.
Class. Steven Spielberg presents, which of course, as we mentioned, led into the Animaniacs.
This has one of my favorite jokes of all time is when they're more excited about the car turning over to like 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 kilometers than going to this crazy amusement park that they've been talking about.
Because like the simple things. However, it did take our man Daffy Duck and teenage him, maybe to about 13, still a shilling, kind of like troublemaker, kind of wanting to get there. But then they made him even younger and they made Baby Plucky and failed to attempt to try to make that its own show. There was the Baby Plucky show for like a week. Yeah.
That's crazy.
After it's the same skits they used on that show, and they added a couple more. They only had a couple episodes. But then Fox TV gave us our whole Tasmania when Taz was everywhere in the 90s.
Yeah, Taz was huge.
As seen here in the Genesis video game.
I remember playing this.
Everyone
look at those mice. I love those mice.
Oh yeah, that's what they are.
The look of them's great.
The egg in the back, which is just Howard the Duck. But then everyone thought they were hardcore, including Taz the wrestler, because he had a tattoo of Taz on his arm. So everybody figured, hey, we should all get tattoos of the Looney Tunes, because obviously the Looney Tunes are hardcore. Let's get this. And so many people had that over their bodies in the 90s. And I bet a lot of them regret it.
Yeah, that's why laser tattoo removal was invented.
That's a large one too. But then the Lunatics Unleashed was released. This got a season of a show after its first episode had to be calmed down because it scared children because they were too grisly.
Scared children.
Yeah, they had to make them less edgy. So this is the less edgy version. There is images and skits of like an original like test that they tried out for some kids who got really upset.
They still look pretty damn edgy.
Yeah, edgy, yeah, but not necessarily scary. They look just kind of stupid. But then every other kid on the planet wanted to be edgy, like this Crisscross dressed as, or is the Looney Tunes dressed as Crisscross? Every dysfunctional family teenager that I knew in high school had one of these. You knew your family basis wasn't great when you showed up at school wearing this or this, where you were Looney Tunes with attitude. Like I don't
so much dude. I love the piece and the gold tooth. He's got a gold tooth
right around the side there. Oh yeah, it is gold. Yeah, they're like
that's awesome.
Suicidal melodies. But some of these shirts were totally official. Some of these shirts were not bootleg. A lot of these were completely backed up by Warner Brothers. They did connect themselves because of that thing. So even like major sports still did the same design where they gave him the dreads. Completely official by both Warner Brothers and the NBA.
Yeah,
still basically crisscross, which is so weird.
They're gonna make you jump, right?
Jump, and they will never miss a bus. But sometimes they were not official. There was lots of shirts that looked also like this too.
What is that supposed to? Is he supposed to be like a fox?
I think so.
And a bear?
Yeah, maybe. He's still basically Taz.
He's basically Taz. It's just Taz differently colored, but
yeah.
But Bugs is totally different.
He's a different
except for the hands.
Sure. Or he's a vampire of some sort.
He's vampire Bugs.
Oh yeah, the hands are the same. Yeah, that's super weird. At that point, I think they stopped caring. But it did mean that even Daffy was gangsta AF.
Look at how cool he looks.
Yeah, and for all those kids I grew up with dysfunctional families who wore those shirts and got those tattoos, I hope things are going better for you now.
I bet you they're not.
Probably not. But yeah, it's such a 90s cultural thing, which was so weird because they're like a 50s and 60s thing, and really they hadn't changed. They just put on funny clothes.
Yeah, the cartoons that we watched when we were kids, I mean, like they were edited. The Bugs Bunny and Tweety show that we watched that aired on ABC was definitely edited versions, but they weren't that different than what was screened in theaters in the 40s. It's crazy. The
because
lasting
when Merry
power that
Melody
they've
still
had.
aired as its own thing, this is it, whatever that was. Those are just the
Yeah, that's
classic.
the Bugs Bunny and Tweety show.
All we know is shit. On with the show. This is shit.
Well, I mean, like they've had so much lasting power that there's a whole bunch of cartoons that are public domain because of how old that they are.
Ooh, so we're going to take advantage of that?
Yeah, so I'm going to take advantage of that because why not? Why wouldn't I take advantage of a free cartoon, right? So aside from collecting the taped off TV content, I also collect weird and random other tapes, and I love compilation cartoon tapes, especially public domain compilation cartoon tapes, because the quality is always just so different and it's all over the place, and the cartoons are weird and wonderful. So what I've done is I pulled a cartoon out of that collection of tapes that I have. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but first I'm going to show you some of the covers that I have because the covers are also kind of interesting. So like here's bootleg Porky Pig, also starring Casper, Bugs Bunny, and Little Lulu, just all over the place.
Right, because they were together.
And then my favorite,
I say it's bootleg Foghorn Leghorn.
I say. I just wanted to listen to him work a jury in a courtroom.
Actually, you know what kind of connects me to their whole gang? Oh, I love that simplicity crap of that stuff. It's like
look at that animated cartoon at the bottom. Isn't that great?
The like late 70s, early 80s Looney Tune comic books that came out that just had one color in the background too. They were official, but they were still not good.
Like, look at this terrible Porky. Like, what's he doing? He's just looking off to the side. And of course, the original Elmer Fudd. This is what Elmer used to look like.
The extremely abusive looking Elmer Fudd.
So here we go. Here's a public domain cartoon. Warner Brothers presents, but this is public domain.
Daffy's trying to squeeze in behind Porky.
I don't think Pork is in this one. This is definitely a Daffy.
Oh. This is like the hoo-hoo-hoo Daffy that we're talking about.
This is kind of the hoo-hoo Daffy, yes.
Yeah. Especially when he's like sort of the hero. He's crazy. And the Nazis.
Yeah, so Warner Brothers, and the same thing happened at Disney. Disney was contracted too, but they made a bunch of propaganda cartoons during wartime. And because they're propaganda cartoons, they were made for the US government, they're public domain.
Right. And a lot of things to like advertise war bonds. And there's a really distasteful Japanese one that Bugs done famously, which is very weird.
Yeah, but, that's not the one that I picked. Yeah, no. Yeah. This one's just making fun of Nazis, and it's totally cool to make.
We're all okay with that.
Yeah, we're all okay with that.
You dumb cop!
You speak fake gibberish German.
I was worried for a moment the helmet was going to come off and that was Daffy. I'm like, no, don't let Daffy be a Nazi.
I think Daffy might be infiltrating the Nazis. I think that might be what this is, like a James Bond type situation, or
because there's
Indiana
your first
Jones.
choice as a hero character, as a spy, a James Bond, Daffy Duck.
Look, if you're gonna send anyone into battle and know that he's gonna have a clear and strong head, it's got to be Daffy Duck.
He just dropped Taz like a bomb.
He's just dropped Taz like a bomb. Taz, an animal from the Muppets.
Yeah,
and you could take down anyone.
Taz just hits the ground and he just turns into that tornado and wrecks him.
Here we go. Hey, singing like Bugs. I love it when the cartoons start with Bugs singing. He's just, just chilling.
I always feel that's maybe why Daffy changed, because I think at certain points they realized that crazy Daffy, and at that point even less chill bugs at that point. We're basically the same character.
Yeah.
We're like, we have to define them a little bit more.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of similarities across the Looney Tunes,
especially in the early
especially the Merry Melodies. Like the whole thing, there's a lot of reused characters.
Or it's like the infinite amount of cartoons that are basically just the concept of Roadrunner and Tweety. Or Sylvester and Tweety and Roadrunner and
yeah, exactly. It's the same plot, just redone with different characters.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that tracks for what I'm showing tonight with the Fantastic Island. Like it's just a clip show. That's what they would do. Reuse, repurpose, make it cheap.
I can't think of what it is off the top of my head, but it was a series that I think was produced by Tex Avery in like the late 70s, early 80s, and it was a bunch of skit original characters who were about as unoriginal as possible. I think their like main icon to it was like called like Cool Koala or something. He was like a droopy dog, but when you tried to catch him, he moved super fast. You couldn't see him, only for like a second.
Cool Koala is a great name for
it's something like that, and like
character.
But every so often he was being hunted down by a obvious coyote ripoff. And it was just the same gags.
Of course.
They even had like everything in it was a ripoff.
How did they never notice that they're holding a bomb?
Yeah, they're holding it. They just don't know what to do with it. They're in shock, and they gotta wait till they're able to spit out the words bomb.
Is the little dude a turtle? He looks kind of like the turtles from Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, right. He's a Koopa.
Yeah, Koopa, that's it.
In Germany, they refer to them as a Koopa.
There you go. There's the Daffy.
Yeah, there's the woo-hoo-hoo.
The whoop. The Daffy hoop and holler. What? For a skunk? I don't get it. What was the...
This is just like Hitler. Smelly. Dirty skunk. Hello.
Yeah, good. That's a telephone booth.
Kannst du nicht sehen, dieser Telefon ist busy? Bleiben Sie ruhig.
Something your turn. Wait your turn, I think is what it said. Got a nickel, bud?
Comes out of Superman. Dankeschön.
It's all yours, Von Limburger.
It was so great when Wayne did that. Sang Dankeschön for me. It was wonderful.
Just for you.
Oh, it felt like it was just for me because he makes you feel like everything he's doing is just for you. That's how.
In the middle of like one of the like little grooves in the song, you look close at him, and his lips said, "I love you, Morgan."
It's true. We saw him at the Flamingo, and now the Flamingo's gotten torn down. It was a beautiful thing.
Like just in the last couple of months?
Yeah. The Flamingo's gone now.
As soon as you left, it just exploded as you walked away. Not suspect at all, Morgan.
Well, I mean, I walked through the doors, and then they realized that was it. Nobody better could come through, so they had to just tear the whole fucker down.
You walked in, and all these alarms went off saying, "Our 1 billionth customer."
That's it. Close the door. We're done.
Just folded it up. I do like that the photo of his wax statue and the actual picture of Wayne Newton. I couldn't tell the difference.
It's true. Oh.
Classic sound effects. So good.
Yeah, the sound effects department, the music department in these cartoons, like they were top form.
The full like string orchestras they had to have.
Yeah, but that's because the studios, they were churning out all this stuff. They all had their like in-house orchestras, right? So they could do that. The Cuban Cannonball, amazing. Look at him go! That duck can fly. I mean, Daffy's not really known for his flying.
No. Oh my goodness.
Look at that, terrible and drawn over. It looks like Ralph Bakshi in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's like slightly rotoscoped.
Oh, hi. There you go. I don't know.
Really just madness from beginning to end. I don't know, folks. Check your local store and others. Whatever.
Sports
Celebrity
videos, movies,
biographies.
celebrities, biographies. There you
Wow.
go. Wow, we should check for more TAV and ATI videos. There's Daffy Duck beating the shit out of Hitler. What a wonderful thing. To think that the Looney Tunes
Daffy won
have
the
been
war.
around for so long,
Yeah.
that they were relevant during World War II and they are still relevant today. That's a pretty amazing feat to have lasted that long
Well, it's
through.
like the
through time.
Yogi Bear Hanna-Barbera Flintstone world is like the youngest out of those three big guys. You've got Disney probably first, then Looney Tunes, then the Hanna-Barbera stuff. But the Hanna-Barbera stuff is still really, really old. And the
Yeah, it's
majority of
crazy.
those like OG guys have either, some of them have disappeared and they're just made as jokes on, Adult Swim cartoons. But like the good chunk of like the OG ones just who are still around haven't changed.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
They might wear their
It's
pants
amazing how-
backwards once in a while, but they still go right back to having no pants the next time.
And it's amazing to me how like much of a cornerstone of comedy and animation of today is still like it's taken from the Looney Tunes. It's awesome to see.
Well, when you see like
lasting the staying power that they have.
Animated versions of like the Stooges, because that would be like around the same, like early versions of Looney Tunes and like prime of Stooges was pretty competitive at the same time. And so whenever there's a weird cartoon of the Stooges, it's just a Looney Tune cartoon, no matter who makes it. It's just basically still a classic Looney Tunes cartoon.
I'll put in some right now.
Follow you? You're as bad as Moe, so bossy. Whoops. Hold on, Curly. Help is on the way. Hey, look, early hieroglyphics. What a find. And what a headache. Ooh.
Well, there you go, folks. That's the pre-show. There you have it. Coming up, we have Daffy Duck's Fantastic Island, featuring a slew of your favorite Looney Tunes characters, Daffy Duck, and of course, Speedy Gonzales in a questionable role. Here we go. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.
Hurry up and roll the film. In fact, say Arriba, Arriba.
Oh, no. Perfect.
I'll take the hit on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Like with a big hammer. Boink.